द क्रिटिकल पेट्रियट देखने वाले सब दोस्तों को खुशामदीद। आज अमेरिका के शहर सनी वेल से मेरे साथ शरीके गुफ्तगू हैं कृष्णा पागाडाला जी। सनी वेल जो है वो सिलिकॉन वैली का हिस्सा है और कृष्णा जी 1998 से अमेरिका में मुकीम हैं और ये कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट हैं और इंडिया में इनका ताल्लुक आंध्र प्रदेश से है। आज हम ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट की बात करेंगे। वेलकम टू द शो कृष्णा जी।
थैंक यू सर। आप कैसे हैं?
अच्छा कृष्णा जी, इंडिया हैज डन वेल इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन। 1947 में वहां पे लिटरेसी रेट था 12%,
राइट सर।
जो अब जो है ऑलमोस्ट 80% है और केरला जो है वहां पे 96% है।
राइट सर।
तो पाकिस्तान में अब भी जो लिटरेसी रेट है वो 60% के करीब
ओ
है।
माय गॉड।
तो आप कैसे देखते हैं इन दोनों मुल्कों को? आई थिंक देयर शुड बी अ हेल्थी कंपटीशन बिटवीन दीज टू
ओ
कंट्रीज।
डेफिनेटली सर, आई एम ऑल फॉर कंपटीशन। क्रिकेट में और एजुकेशन में, इस चीज में कंपटीशन होना होना चाहिए सर। ये बंदूक में, वॉर में, जंग में नहीं होना चाहिए सर। सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ लिटरेसी सर, आप इंडिया is not Pakistan focused so much, sir. I mean, India has its own problems, and it has, it is more outward looking, sir, towards the world, right? And so, in India, Nehru was not focused, was focused on India's economic development and human development, sir. So he actually created the IITs very early on, sir. In 1952, May, I think by 1950s the IITs already started in India. So there was a focus on scientific development, industrialization very early on. Uh, and there has been a slow progress in terms of, I would say, education and other and income also. आप सुने होंगे सर, in Hindu growth of rate of growth, right?
या
And India की socialism, quote unquote socialism, right? So ये सब ये problems थे, right? And to some extent they have been corrected. But most important thing sir, ये किया कि नेहरू जी was invested in education, but unfortunately education sir was not on masses education of the masses, meaning illiteracy even today sir, in India, a lot of girl child and boys children also, 4 million of them don't go to school sir. This is below 6th grade. सिक्स क्लास भी नहीं पास होते। सो दिस इज
पाकिस्तान में कृष्णा जी, पाकिस्तान में आपको पता है कि 2.5 करोड़ बच्चे जो हैं, ऑलमोस्ट 25 मिलियन चिल्ड्रन डोंट गो टू स्कूल।
yes sir, and this is a much bigger problem in Pakistan sir. So in Pakistan में, Pakistan and India too sir should not focus on each other sir. दुश्मन की, enmity की नहीं सर। आपकी we let's have a healthy competition sir, कि कितने बच्चे कितना तक पढ़ेंगे ना। that is a very healthy thing sir. 12th class which is intermediate कहते हैं ना पाकिस्तान में, इंडिया में भी इंटरमीडिएट कहते हैं सर। सो let every child finish intermediate sir. that is a competition वो होना चाहिए, राइट? पाकिस्तान आप देखे तो 1947 1960 के डेटा मेरे पास है सर। 1960 definitely it was ahead of India sir. It was ahead of Human Development Index sir, was created by Mahbub who was the prime minister, who was the finance minister of Pakistan actually at one point. And health, it is three components sir. One is health, which is life expectancy. Second one is education, and third one is income sir. All three are equally important sir. ये एक बड़ा नहीं है, एक छोटा नहीं है, राइट? सो इनकम में, हेल्थ में, लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी में 1960 में पाकिस्तान वाज अहेड सर। नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, बट उतना गैप नहीं था एजुकेशन में। इंडिया वाज अहेड बट नॉट दैट मच फार अहेड। अब देखें तो द होल थिंग हैज चेंज सर। India is ahead in terms of income, it is in terms of education, in terms of life expectancy, which is health, right? Bangladesh, used to be part of Pakistan, sir. We should also include Pakistan, Bangladesh, sir. If Bangladesh देखे तो बांग्लादेश नेक एंड नेक है, बराबर है इंडिया से. वो आगे बढ़ चुके हैं पाकिस्तान से. ये किस लिए हुआ? बिकॉज बांग्लादेश इज नॉट इंडिया फोकस, सर. वो दे आर इंटरेस्टेड इन देयर ओन प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट? वो literacy rates education levels little less than India है Bangladesh में still, but they've run the economy little bit better than India. So and also the advantage है sir, वो ग्रामीण बैंक है, वो international I think help them a little bit, sir. But मैं ये कहता हूँ कि on overall speaking, India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan are overall in the same ballpark, sir. Yes, India is a little bit ahead, but मैं वो बहुत ahead नहीं कहूँगा, sir. We should have healthy competition between India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, sir. I'm all for it. But we should look at देखना चाहिए कि China, how did China become China? China, आपको पता है sir, is very much ahead. आपको पता है South Korea is very much ahead. ये कैसे हुआ, right? Singapore is very much ahead. Hong Kong, Taiwan are very much ahead. These are all Asian tigers, right? और we can learn lessons, sir, from not just India. Pakistan should learn from India and Bangladesh, right? But also from China and also India should learn lessons. सीखना चाहिए from China and from South Korea, sir.
जी बिल्कुल दुरुस्त आपने कहा. तो I would agree with you कि India has done well in the field of higher education.
Right, sir.
मसलन आपके यहाँ 31 नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी हैं,
right,
और उससे भी बढ़कर 23 IITs हैं,
right,
इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, जिनका स्टैंडर्ड बहुत अच्छा है.
right, sir.
और आपके यहाँ 993 यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं.
yes, sir.
ये बहुत अच्छी अचीवमेंट है आपकी. तो पाकिस्तान में अनफॉर्चुनेटली इतनी डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुई इस फील्ड में. मसलन in India 24,000 people do their PhDs every year.
Right,
और
sir.
पाकिस्तान में जो है सिर्फ 1200 लोग हैं, 1200 people.
Oh, yes,
so
sir.
that is pretty impressive achievement for India, but
Right.
not so impressive if you compare it with China and South Korea.
India Pakistan contrast देखना चाहिए. India is definitely ahead, right? And it has only been pulling away from Pakistan over the last 20 years, sir. So India, if you look at it, sir, 4 million kids are still out of school, sir. So India has done reasonably well in higher education, sir. But if you compare IITs with the top universities around the world, actually Chinese institutes rank higher, sir. Like Tsinghua University, मैं pronunciation correct नहीं कर रहा हूँ. But they are the world's top universities, sir. India hasn't cracked them yet. Right? It is recognized as a top institution, but not the top 100, top 50 yet, right, sir? And also, if you look at uneducated people, sir, India may still there is a lot of illiteracy, sir. Illiteracy among young people. So older people school nahi gaye, so they are not going to join school 30-40 years at age 30, at age 40, sir. बच्चे को you should keep them in school, sir. If you miss that window, you are never, वो नहीं school नहीं जाएंगे ना lifetime में. So that is not possible, sir. So below 20 years of age, you should catch them, sir, when they are kids, really. So India's kids still don't 100% go to school, sir. And actually, even for 6th grade, they're not finishing. 4 million of them are not finishing, sir. I think in Pakistan, it is much worse, actually. And so, I mean, the sustainable development goals, sir, for 2030 for every country is to finish 12 years of schooling, for every child to finish 12 years of schooling, sir. वो
अच्छा,
if that happens, sir, Pakistan will be fundamentally different, and India will be fundamentally different, sir. Poverty nahi honge. I mean, the quality of life will be better, and everyone can be on par with at least China, sir. We are so far behind China, sir. India is also so far behind China, and Pakistan is even behind China. ये possibility है, sir. Actually, China is China because of its emphasis uh, on all of its kids finishing 6th grade, 9th grade, sir. Oh, it's not even higher education, sir. Higher education institutions अच्छी हैं, इंडिया में भी अच्छी है, but is there the strength of the country is not in its higher education, sir. It's in its primary and secondary education. ये intermediate कहते हैं इंडिया में और पाकिस्तान में, ये मेरे ख्याल से, as far as I understand, right?
That's right. तो पाकिस्तान में भी कृष्णा जी इंडिया की तरह हायर एजुकेशन में बहुत एक्सपेंशन हुई है. Earlier we had only 15 universities, but now we have more than 200 universities. लेकिन इतनी एक्सपेंशन जो है वो प्राइमरी एजुकेशन में नहीं हुई. तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि अभी भी हमारे जो हैं 25 मिलियन स्टूडेंट्स, 25 million children are out of school, yes, which is a big number, probably the largest in the world. और हमारा ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट जो है, यूएन का ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स जो है, उसमें भी हम 2 पॉइंट स्लिप कर गए हैं. अब हम 154 पे हैं. एंड दिस इज द लोएस्ट इन साउथ एशिया.
यस सर, ये है प्रॉब्लम सर. सर आप invest in education, sir. Let's have a healthy competition on education, sir. Who invests in education does well, sir. आप देखे तो education, sir, it drives income because you can do a job, sir. एजुकेशन नहीं होते ना, आपके क्या करेंगे सर? आप ड्राइवर करेंगे, कैब करेंगे, मैनुअल लेबर करेंगे ना. उसके अलावा जॉब नहीं है. आपके दिमाग से सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर नहीं बन सकते, रॉकेट साइंटिस्ट नहीं बनते, डॉक्टर नहीं बन सकते, जर्नलिस्ट आपकी तरह जर्नलिस्ट नहीं बन सकते ना. सो बेसिक एजुकेशन इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट सर. and also you need labor force, sir. Labor force, so if you build a factory, they should be able to read the instructions, sir. Okay, journalist नहीं हुआ, college नहीं गए, ठीक है, but they should be able to follow written instructions ना, how to manufacture a product. दिमाग चाहिए ना. दिमाग, it's not potential है sir. आप ही इंसान है, मैं भी इंसान हूँ. Everyone has potential, but you have to flower that potential, sir. And that flowering happens only by education. So if you improve education, sir, health will improve, which is life expectancy, and also income will improve, sir. So everything is better with, and also the way you look at other aspects, like how do you treat women, that also improves, sir. So a lot of social indicators that आप देख सकते हैं, maternal mortality, for example, infant mortality. There are a lot of other indicators that can be looked at, sir, for human development. ये सब improve होता है सर, but if fundamental education से है सर.
सही. अच्छा, आपने चाइना की बात की. Chinese universities have improved a lot in recent years, लेकिन अब भी जो है, they are nowhere near close to MIT or Stanford and other universities, American universities. क्या कहेंगे आप इसके बारे में?
Sir, I think Tsinghua is a very good university, sir.
कहाँ पे है ये?
मैं बता सकता हूँ सर, एक मिनट दीजिए.
Is it in Beijing or Shanghai or what?
Tsinghua University देख रहा हूँ सर. ये कहाँ है? Wikipedia.
So does it compete with the best universities in the West?
Beijing, sir. ये Beijing में है sir. It does compete, sir. Tsinghua spelling Tsinghua, sir. It is 15th in the world, sir.
All right. And actually, Singapore National University ranks very high in international rankings.
Right. Yes, sir. National University of Singapore. I think this Tsinghua actually in Beijing is actually ranked higher, sir. I think it's the best university in China. So yeah,
for science. For science and technology or other subjects also?
I think it is science and technology, sir. Mera, I don't have that depth on Chinese higher education, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that they have very good universities, sir. Because
Mm-hmm.
I see in the Silicon Valley, वहां से यहाँ आते हैं और मैं पूछता हूँ क्या कहाँ से आप, they tell Tsinghua University, the
चाइनीज
top, हाँ
चाइनीज लोगों की बात कर रहे हैं?
हाँ चाइनीज सर, चाइनीज लोगों को
अच्छा।
from there. IIT feeder schools है sir. From IIT they come to Stanford in the US, sir, for example.
हम्म।
So for Tsinghua to Stanford, Princeton, like Yale, MIT, यहाँ आते sir.
अच्छा, what about Muslim countries? What Muslim country is ahead of other countries in science and technology? Is it
Sir,
Turkey? Is it Iran? Which country is the most advanced in the Muslim world?
Sir, I'm not so familiar with the country, sir. My assume Iran is reasonably good, sir. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia, I think Malaysia is a middle income country, sir. I'm sure it's doing well. Indonesia is doing reasonably well. I mean, it is not ये इसको चाइना से नहीं कंपेयर करना है.
Mm-hmm.
As compared to India and Pakistan, definitely Malaysia is better. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
Iran is better. Indonesia is slightly better than India, but not all that much.
Yeah. In Iran, they have a good university named Sharif University.
Huh. I haven't heard of it, sir. Yeah.
ओके। अच्छा, तो अभी अभी बताइए कि क्या करना चाहिए इंडिया और पाकिस्तान को टू प्रमोट देयर ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट?
Sir, human resource development is fundamentally dependent on education, sir. आप education को नहीं करते हो, education for everyone, sir. No student should be out of school, sir, and they should finish 12 years of schooling. मैं विकिपीडिया में पढ़ रहा था, आपकी official target है 7.5% of GDP to be spent on education. Official government, maybe I'm a little bit wrong here and there, but that is your official goal, sir. So please spend it, sir. 7.5% of GDP has been spent on basic education, sir. Or start from ground floor, sir. If you build a multi-floor stores building, sir, you start with foundation, na? Foundation, then first floor, second floor, like that, na? आपकी foundation is all kids going to school, sir. You are not building a solid foundation. So India में ये problem है. कम है compared to Pakistan, बहुत कम है, because it's only 4 million for India versus 25 million for Pakistan. Pakistan's population is also much lower, right? So you have to compare that, take that also into account.
Yeah.
But आप first let all your children, Balochistan, Swat, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh. I think these are all the states that are not as advanced as Punjab, sir. Punjab mein literacy rates, I think, are the highest in Pakistan, right? Focus on all the places, sir. Wherever there is a problem, go fix it, sir.
Yeah.
Go and ladka ladki, everyone, sir. You cannot leave out girls, sir. So everyone should go to school, and they should finish at least intermediate, sir. At least, sir. Intermediate, and then, sir, yeah, we cannot. I'm taking away focus from higher education because, sir, lot of these kids who don't even send to school, they are also very smart, sir. Wo tomorrow they can become a world class scientist, sir, world class researcher, world class CEO. But उसको आप एजुकेशन की नहीं दे तो, स्कूल नहीं भेजा तो, they will never be able to achieve their potential, sir. So that is very important, right? For the few who have gone to IITs, or like me who has gone to a good university, मैं IIT नहीं गया, ठीक है, but I've gone to a reasonably good university. So we have flowered, sir. We have done well, but everyone should get that opportunity, sir. वो नहीं आ रहा है. Another important thing I will say, sir, is stop this focus on Hindu Muslims, sir. आप पाकिस्तान में देखे तो you are focused on India's Muslims, sir. Sir, आप focus on your own Muslim citizens, sir. I mean, on Hindus and Christians and everybody else who's there, sir. Every citizen of Pakistan, I would say, right? But Pakistani citizens are behind India's citizens, sir. I think if you compare Muslims in India, I think even Muslims in Pakistan have fallen behind Muslims in India, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And Muslims in India are a little bit behind Hindus in India on average
Mm-hmm.
case.
Yeah.
But so focus on your own citizens, sir. Don't think about the enemy, so-called enemy in India, sir. No, nahi, sir.
Mm-hmm.
India has treated its Muslim citizens, I would say, reasonably okay. I wouldn't say great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the potential is much bigger, sir. I am not happy, and because India should have been at least on par with China, because it is not. And this we are. It is not just India's Muslims who are behind, sir. India's Hindus also. Basically, the whole country is behind China, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not just Muslims who are behind, right? So so ये कह रहा हूँ कि India should do much better, right? But India's Muslim citizens haven't been treated so badly, right?
Mm-hmm.
As definitely not as badly as Pakistan says, sir.
Okay.
I mean, मैं आपकी YouTube channel देखता हूँ. A lot of uh, Pakistani guests are very focused on them, and they think India's Muslims are treated very badly, sir.
Mm-hmm.
वो नहीं है. Discrimination है. I completely agree. A little bit of discrimination, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on average, but even today, I don't think it is that bad, sir. What the
Mm-hmm.
main problem in India, sir, is and you know this, sir. India's population, Muslim population, has increased, sir, from 9% to 15-16%, sir.
Yeah,
Eh,
that's
आप
right.
so right, sir. This increase happens because there is no. I mean, Pakistani terms में genocide ये वो कहते हैं, sir. ये नहीं हुआ, right? It is very clear from the statistics,
जी,
right? But I will
कृष्ण
say
जी,
there is
आज भी मैं किसी से यही बात कर रहा था कि पाकिस्तान में दिन रात ये कहा जाता है कि इंडियन मुस्लिम्स हैव बीन फेसिंग अ जेनोसाइड. सो मैंने ये पूछा कि भाई अगर जेनोसाइड होता तो 1947 में वो 9% थे या 9.5% थे और आज वो 15% हैं. हाउ डिड दिस हैपन?
yes,
एंड
sir.
व्हाट डज द वर्ड जेनोसाइड मीन इन दिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट?
Right,
तो
sir.
वो फिर कोई खास जवाब होता नहीं है उनके पास. तो
Right,
और वी आई एग्री विद यू, इंडिया शुड फोकस ऑन इट्स प्रॉब्लम्स, इट्स पॉपुलेशन, एंड पाकिस्तान शुड फोकस ऑन इट्स पॉपुलेशन.
right, sir.
सो ये बताइएगा कि आपके यहाँ एक बड़ी अच्छी अचीवमेंट ये भी हुई कि बिटवीन 2006 एंड 2017 271 मिलियन पीपल वर लिफ्टेड आउट ऑफ पॉवर्टी. यानी
Right,
27 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग जो थे वो पॉवर्टी से निकाले गए.
right,
और
sir.
उसमें ज्यादा क्रेडिट पिछली गवर्नमेंट्स को जाता है. इस गवर्नमेंट को भी डेफिनेटली कुछ क्रेडिट जाता है कि 2017 के ये फिगर्स
Right,
हैं.
sir.
तो आई थिंक पाकिस्तान शुड डू समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Sir, this is after effects of education, sir. So you cannot economic policy से नहीं बनता है, sir. You change economic policy, you won't get improvement, sir, because Pakistan की economic policy आप देखें तो it has always been capitalist and pro industrial, right? It has always been friends with USA, America से, right ना? So if you look at it from that perspective, sir, Pakistan आगे it should be much ahead of India. वो नहीं हुआ ना. If you look at 1990 में, sir, India and China had exactly the same GDP per capita, sir. 1990 में आपको पता है 1990 में इंडिया में लिबरलाइजेशन हुआ, right? So but they have gone far ahead. The reason is underlying, sir. Their population was much more educated, sir. Their population was 30 years ahead of India's population in terms of education. So that after effect, sir, education will happen in your 1 through 20, before you're 20, right? But your productive years are after that, right? So this is a silent thing that is invisible for 20 years, sir. I would give the credit to actually the education levels in 1990 or 2000 in India, sir. As they keep improving, you will see the after effects 20 years later, sir. Right?
तो चाइना ने, कृष्णा जी, चाइना ने क्या ऐसा किया है कि डिड दे फोकस ऑन देयर प्राइमरी एजुकेशन?
Right, sir.
वो वजह है कि they are doing so well in
right?
economy, in science and technology. क्या है?
Exactly, sir. They live 77 years right now, sir. So life expectancy 77 years है, sir. आपको income, they are very far ahead, sir. And education also they are ahead, sir. I'll give you one data point, sir. In 1960 already, this is under Mao, sir. 60% of its girl students, young women in the age of 20 to 24, sir, 60% of them went to school, sir. Finished 6 years of schooling, sir. ये primary education कहता है, right? Now, if you look at it today, sir, almost 100% of girls are finishing 6 years of schooling, sir. India achieved this 6 years of schooling not in 1960, not 1970, not in 2000, sir. 40 years later, right? And Pakistan is still has achieved it today, sir, which is what 55 years, 60 years later, sir. So if you look at it, sir,
नहीं, पाकिस्तान ने अचीव कर लिया है ये टारगेट आप कह रहे हैं,
but वो मैं कह रहा हूँ, sir, 60% of the girls are in finishing 6 years was achieved by China in 1960. You have achieved it in 2020, 60 years later, sir. So if you are behind, this is the reason you are behind, sir. China has done extremely well in terms of its basic education, sir.
अच्छा कृष्णा जी, कुछ लोग ये भी कहते हैं कि चाइना को जब आप असेस करें तो you should not forget the fact that China is a regimented society. So human rights hardly exist there. There is no freedom of speech.
Sir, I partly agree with you, sir. So it is an authoritarian system, and I wouldn't be happy to live in China, sir. But you have to take first thing, sir, for a person is life expectancy, sir. You have to live, sir. Their life expectancy is 77 years, right? India is 70, aspas, right? I think Pakistan is 2 or 3 years less than that, right? First thing for a person is you have to live, sir. For a very poor person living in Pakistan or in India, maybe China is a better place, sir. Because you have to have food, sir, and you have to live that long, sir. Then first, after your belly is full, after you have a little bit of education, after you live a long life, then political rights, sir, in my opinion. I'm not saying they're less important, but first we should focus on them, sir. And I will say I'm not even taking China as the sole example, sir. आप South Korea में देखें, Singapore, Taiwan, right? All these countries have actually done better in education. So these are all transition countries, sir, where they had low education to high education and high income and high life expectancy right now, sir. Since you have asked about authoritarian countries, you can say even Singapore is is sort of authoritarian. Taiwan is authoritarian. You can say South Korea was authoritarian because it had no democracy until 1980. Right? But if you look at now, we look at the West, sir. If you look at USA, if you look at Japan, is a very good example, sir. If you look at how they improved, sir, you can clearly see their education levels went up first and then their economies, sir. And actually even their democracies become better, sir. You cannot have a good democracy without an educated population, sir. It is a chicken and egg problem, sir. Right? So the quality of institutions improves with the education, sir. So if you look at Japan right now, they have exceptional, on world-class institutions, sir. I'm talking about civil institutions. I'm not talking really about universities. Like how do they run their country? How do they make decisions? That sort of a thing, right? How do they run their police? Regular stuff.
अच्छा कृष्णा जी, बात ये है कि चाइना की तो आपने कहा कि चाइना हैज अचीव्ड अ लॉट. What about North Korea? North Korea is also a communist country, but
Sir,
they are a messed up place.
So, sir, मैं कम्युनिस्ट कैपिटलिस्ट ये नहीं देख रहा हूँ, सर. मैं सोशल पॉलिसी की बात कर रहा हूँ, सर. सो सिंगापुर
एजुकेशन तो है ना नॉर्थ कोरिया में.
So you are exactly right, sir. Education is not the only factor, sir. So there are other things that are, so you can take Cuba also as another example, sir.
Yeah.
Right? So you also need to have, so if you have education, sir, you will live a long life. That part is clear, right? income improvements come with open economy, sir. ये free markets कहते हैं, capitalist economies कहते हैं, whatever you want to call it, right? Integrated into the global economy. That is important, sir. So if you look at China, sir, that is why it is, because it participated in the globalization, sir. Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea, ये में सारी examples they और India भी, right? Or even in Pakistan, sir, if you look 1960s, why was Pakistan ahead, sir? पाकिस्तान अहेड इसलिए था कि बिकॉज ये वो फुल स्केल वैसे ट्रेड करता था, right? So that
Right.
is why it was ahead, right? So economic policy is important, sir, but economic policy is important after education, sir. First you have education, and then if you also have economic policy, you will become rich country, sir. If you don't have good economic policy, or if you are very authoritarian like North Korea, then you won't do well at all. But if you look at the life expectancy of in North Korea, sir, they have famines, and North Korea is a messy place, sir. I don't really want to go into that, and I don't I don't have data in my head, sir. But their life expectancy is not terrible, sir. मैं quickly life expectancy गूगल कर सकता हूँ.
अच्छा, क्यूबा में क्या सूरत हाल है? क्यूबा में भी almost 100% लिटरेसी है,
Right, sir.
and they have a high number of doctors,
Right,
and
sir.
their doctors have served in so many other countries.
Right, sir.
So, but economically, it is not a strong country.
Right, sir. So South Korea, so North Korea, to finish that thought, sir. North Korea is 72 years life expectancy, sir, which is little bit higher or on par with India, and definitely higher than Pakistan, sir. So their education levels are much higher than Pakistan, sir. So it kind of makes sense. So
North Korea ke?
yeah, definitely, sir. Not so there's a history for the Korea, sir. So when Japan colonized the Korea, South Korea, North Korea, and actually even parts of China and Taiwan, right? They actually put colonization is not the same everywhere, sir. Some colonial countries, actually even in Britain, India mein they did not do education, sir. All not that much education. We have discussed Sri Lanka, sir. पीछे पहले Sri Lanka actually they actually put a lot of kids in school in the 1930s and 40s, sir, pre-independence. So that's why Sri Lanka has stayed ahead of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh since its independence, sir. Right now it is now, I think, on par with Pakistan and India and Bangladesh, because of it has been severely mismanaged over long periods, sir. It should have been on par with China. It is not on par because of its problems. But if you look at Cuba, for example, sir, it has education, sir, but there is a problem with the US doing the embargo. That is definitely something we have to consider, sir. That is why the economy is not doing well. But also their way of structuring the economy, they don't indulge in this globalization aspect, right? They also they're actually very tightly tied by US also, I think. But the very nature of their system, sir, both Cuba and China are communist, but they're very different communist systems, sir. So their lack of trade is why they are poor, sir. But they are not that poor, sir. They are considered a middle income country. आप देखें तो I think Pakistan is a lower middle income country, right? And India also, India is also a little bit lower as compared to Cuba, right? So Cuba is not a basket case, sir. We can still, their economies are also much better, sir. Cuba, the other interesting thing, sir, is life expectancy is on par with the USA, sir. So we should not write off Cuba as a basket case, as a waste, right? It is not.
Okay.
It is not like that, sir. It cannot be compared with Pakistan or even India, sir. It is actually ahead of Pakistan and India on human development terms, sir. Life expectancy, health, education, income, all three it is ahead, sir.
And actually, the US embargo has made things very bad for them.
It has made it a little bit difficult, sir. But I will also say the leadership of Cuba also has a role to play in its poor economy. Given its potential, it has not achieved what its potential is, sir. That's
okay.
how.
Achha, there is another country that comes to my mind, and that is Nigeria. And actually, Nigeria is a country that was created by the British in 1914, and it gained its independence in 1960. And it has a lot of oil, natural resources, including oil. And I know there was a civil war, Biafra civil war in 1967 to 70.
Right, sir.
But it is really a messed up country. How come they have not improved their economy?
Sir, it is not about economy, sir. Again, so if you so Saudi Arabia is another good example of a country that hasn't done so well, sir. If you look at the oil states, sir, they could have done much better, sir. If you look at their, because of so much money, they can import doctors from India, Pakistan, everywhere, sir. So that's why they are doing health-wise reasonably okay. But in terms of education, sir, they are not doing as well as they could have done. So I don't think Saudi Arabia is on par with China even. ये
And
कैसा ये कैसा हो सकता है, sir?
Krishna ji, sorry for interruption. Do you know that Saudi Arabia's first university was created in 1957?
नहीं सर, नहीं पता सर.
Yeah, so late. I mean,
Late, sir.
so yeah,
Yeah.
the country came into being much earlier. I think 1932, and
Right,
they did not think of founding a university until 1957. It
right,
was
sir.
King Saud University, the first university that they founded. अच्छा ये बताइएगा कि आप कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट हैं तो ये ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट की तरफ आप कैसे आ गए?
Sir, I had a serious interest in understanding how the world is, sir. It is my politics, sir. I would say my father I mean, family had some interest in the independence movement, sir. We were not leaders or anything, but as followers of Gandhi, you can say. My dad's name was Gandhi, sir. My dad was named after Mahatma Gandhi. Uh, so and my dad was a slum doctor, sir. India में गुंटूर में एक slum है. उसमें he lived. I lived in the slum of Guntur, sir, for all my childhood, sir. So he was a doctor of slum people, sir. So I had a interest in social surveys and that sort of a thing. For instance, when I was very young, because of my influence of my family and my father particularly, sir. And I have kept that in my, and I have also a very big reader, sir. So up, हाँ, जब 9/11 हुआ, I was in the US, sir, at that time. I just came to the US a few years before. And in the US, there was a big anti-Muslim sentiment. And I knew this anti-Muslim sentiment was not right, sir. ये right नहीं है. Because आप देखें तो, I mean, the roots of the problem Pakistan has been destroyed by actually the Afghan war, sir. Actually there are two countries that were destroyed by the Afghan war against the Soviets, sir. One was obviously Afghanistan, right? The other one was Pakistan, sir. Unfortunately, you got involved in that mess, and Pakistan's lot of problems Pakistan can be traced to that decision too, I would say, sir. Right? So when I looked at it, and आपको पता है, sir, this is, and Istiaq Ahmed has also said this. US actually fed Islamic Jihad. Islamic fundamentals were fed by the US because they wanted to only fight against the Russians and Soviets. They did not care that radicalization of the Muslim populations of Afghanistan and and the Middle East in some extent. And also Pakistan would be so much become problems after the problem is over. I mean, let's say that, right? So basically, this is what I heard in after 9/11, sir, that Muslims are the problem and that they're against Christians, sir. But my understanding was not that way, sir, because the slum that I was talking about, sir, 1/3 of them were Muslims, sir. So I have seen Muslims in a very close personal capacity. They used to come to my home every day, sir. They were my father's patients. So I mean, we stayed in second floor, sir. First floor was the doctor's office. So it was not like I did not see the patients, sir. I lived in that slum for 20 years, right?
All right.
So pata hai this is not really a Muslim thing, because I never heard Muslims in Guntur saying, my hometown, saying, let's go attack America. They did not care, sir. They had their own daily life. How do I eat food? What is my child doing? Regular stuff that everyone has, sir.
अच्छा कृष्णा जी ये बताइए कि have you become a US citizen by now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
You are a US citizen.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा आपके दोस्तों में कोई पाकिस्तानी भी हैं क्या?
नहीं सर, अनफॉर्चुनेटली नॉट सर. मुस्लिम्स है बट पाकिस्तानी नहीं है.
कहाँ से हैं वो मुस्लिम्स?
सर some of them are from Hyderabad, sir. आपको पता है, you know, it was ruled by the Nawabs, right? Deccan. So from Hyderabad, sir, some of them are Guntur. Say I have a lot of friends, sir, because it is 1/3. Maybe I'm a little bit wrong on the numbers, but substantial portion of is Muslims, sir, and I have from all over, sir. Yeah.
कृष्णा जी, कोई फाइनल थॉट्स हो तो ब्रीफली बताइएगा.
सर, मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि सेल्फ क्रिटिसिज्म मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, सर. सर, it's easy to criticize India. It is for me as a Indian, as an Indian, it is easy for me to criticize Pakistan, sir. We should criticize our own governments and our own power structures, sir. In Pakistan's context, it is army plus the political class. In India, it is more the political class, democratic political class, right? Because when we criticize our own selves, our own government, sir, that is when we can see improvements, right, sir? We should say, you know, the government has not put all the kids in school, sir. That is the criticism that I would give for India's government. आप भी यही करना है, sir. I like your channel so much, sir, because you bring on lot of intellectuals who criticize Pakistan, sir. आप भी बहुत criticism करते हैं, sir. I like people who can. It is not to say we are bad, sir. I'm not saying Pakistani citizens or people are bad, sir. But the structures can be bad, right? And when the structures are bad, we should actually try to correct them, sir. I will. One final thought, sir. Noam Chomsky, sir, one of his most famous, and what I like, sir, most famous essays is he wrote a essay called "The Responsibility of Intellectuals," sir. And in that he said the responsibility of an intellectual, of a person who's read, right, is to criticize their own country, sir. It is not to criticize your enemy, sir, which is easy, right? Everybody will agree with you. There is no, but by criticizing your own country, you are improving your own country, sir. I'm not saying a country meaning as Pakistan as an entity or India as an entity. Patriotism होना चाहिए, right? I'm patriotic. I mean, I think very much about India. I think highly of India, and you should think very highly of Pakistan as a country, right? But I'm talking about the political class and power structure, sir. Right? उसको criticism करना चाहिए. That is my message, sir.
जी, उसमें कृष्णा जी, मेरे ख्याल में जो ब्लाइंड पेट्रियटिज्म है ना, दैट इज हार्मफुल टू एवरी कंट्री.
एग्जैक्टली.
और अमेरिका में तो जो क्रिटिकल पेट्रियटिज्म है वो एक तरह से उनके सिलेबस का हिस्सा है. स्टूडेंट्स आर एक्सपोज टू क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग स्किल्स एंड क्रिटिकल पेट्रियटिज्म.
राइट, सर.
सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Without criticism you cannot improve your country.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. And we should also celebrate our country, sir, definitely, but not the political class, right? Celebrate life expectancy, celebrate that every child is going to school, sir. That is a great celebration, sir.
So thank you very much कृष्णा जी, आपने बड़ी अच्छी बातें की, थॉट प्रोवोकिंग बातें की. तो इसी के साथ मैं आपसे और बाकी दोस्तों से इजाजत चाहता हूं. खुदा हाफिज.